Hello, Mark. My name is Barbara, aka Citizen X, and I am the gal who offered you just some general basic help on Twitter. I know that you mentioned on the show that you were kind of struggling with it, and I do have a little bit of knowledge in Twitter, and I often do these random acts of kindness to help people out to better understand Twitter and kind of what it can do to help you. Now, to be honest, I have to say that Twitter, I teach lots of computing concepts, sometimes to the elderly, and Twitter's been the most difficult one to explain, so do not feel bad. It is kind of hard to understand, but I'm not going to get into really great detail, but I'm hoping to leave you with a better idea of what Twitter is and kind of how it works. So this is my profile, and you can see I have 500 followers. I'm sorry, 706 followers, and I follow back 501. Just a little bit of background on me. I've been on Twitter since 2007. I've always been an early adopter of social media as it kind of comes into play. So I've been on it for a while, and I've watched it grow. And one of the things that Twitter does really well right now is that when it comes to breaking news or something happening in the world, Twitter is very good at having that breaking news and getting it instantly because now people are tweeting from where they're standing on their cell phones. It's fascinating really how it's all turned out, and again, Twitter is really best at breaking news. However, I completely agree that you can utilize Twitter to grow your followers, grow your listeners. I think that's really what you're kind of after, and I understand that. So I just want to say that while Twitter's really good at breaking news, it's really good at lots of other things, and Free Talk Live can definitely utilize Twitter to grow its audience. Going into your profile page on Twitter, again, I'm just staying with Twitter, the website itself. This is just twitter.com. If somebody goes to your web page or your actual profile page on Twitter, this is what they see. This is what they see if they go to mine. Okay, so pretty much I just say who I am and where they can find me online, my little corner of the web. And you do the exact same thing, which is great. Everything you're doing is fine. Your description is fine. Putting them back to the website, that's great. Also, your tweets are getting a lot better as far as tweeting about what you guys are talking about, tweeting about the shows, using SoundCloud. We always like that. Why do we like it when you use SoundCloud? Because look, right within Twitter, we can listen to the show. This is a beautiful interface. Twitter didn't always do this. They suddenly realized they needed to. Again, this is the advent of the mobile devices that can do video and audio, where you're standing. So it used to be just 140 characters or less, but now they've integrated other media. You can add audio, you can add photos, videos, all kinds of things right within your tweet, right within the Twitter interface. And the fact that you're utilizing that is great. This is great because not only do you want to tell them what you're talking about, you want to point them to where they can hear these types of opinions, these types of conversations. So that is really good. I do like that. Talking about hashtags, you said you don't really get hashtags. I am going to talk about that. You're doing really good with the hashtags. WikiLeaks, I don't know, have you ever clicked on a hashtag to see what it does? We'll talk about that. I want to discuss the Free Talk Live hashtag. This is good. This is what you want to do. You want to establish your own hashtag where if you search Twitter, you want to know what everybody's saying about Free Talk Live. So you've already got that established. I think you should put it up here. So where this is Free Talk Live right here, make it all one word, just like your hashtag down there. That's what that should be. It should be your hashtag, and then is the next generation. Put it right up there, front center, so that there's no confusion, because FTL is another one. And I don't know if you've looked it up, but it means all kinds of things. For the loss, not very positive. For the LOLs, for the ladies, feel the love. So there's lots of miscommunication that can happen. So I do like the fact that you've already established your hashtag. That's good. You do want to do that. I think the point that I realized you needed some help with Twitter, I saw a tweet and you used a hashtag for an account name. Does that make sense? I mean, the hashtag is more for like subjects, but if you know someone specifically on Twitter and this is their Twitter handle, you don't use the hashtag for that. You always want to use the @ sign. The reason why you always want to use the @ sign is because they will automatically, well, let me rephrase that. They will definitely see your tweet. Whereas if you use the hashtag, they're only going to see that tweet if they search everything that's ever tweeted about their Twitter handle. I hope that makes sense. This is kind of hard for me just to kind of take a break for a minute. I really wanted to get your feedback, kind of where you're standing right now, where your biggest frustrations are. I'm really good at kind of drilling into specific issues and customizing what it is you need to learn. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just kind of going in blindly. I know what issues you are having problems with, but I'm hoping that maybe we can in the future talk a little bit more if you do need further assistance about, how you can or how I can better help you as far as specific answers or questions you may have about Twitter. Okay, again, I did mention that I was going to talk about the hashtags. These are ways of searching Twitter. Again, I kind of talked a little bit about breaking news. Again, this is how Twitter works. So let's say a bridge collapses in Manhattan or something like that. You may do a hashtag search right away, but you may do Manhattan at first and then just kind of see what's trending and kind of go from there. So it makes Twitter searchable, and it's very hard to explain. I think the best way to show someone is how we use it. So you're like, I don't understand hashtags. Well, you won't until you see how people use hashtags. So I think that'll be a big help to you. So a hashtag search, we're just going to do Free Talk Live. That is your hashtag. And it is going to bring up everybody who has mentioned Free Talk Live. And this site that I'm using here is called hashtags.org. You can also do this right within Twitter, your Twitter search. Hashtag Free Talk Live. Okay, here's the most important thing I can say. Twitter always defaults to the top. So these are the top tweets. People either retweeted them, liked them, favored them, whatever. That's what makes them a top tweet. You always want to see all. So you're going to click that, and that's going to give you everything that everybody's tweeted that use the hashtag. Now you see it's kind of getting picked up. Some other people are mentioning Free Talk Live and using the hashtag, so that's great. But definitely we want this to be a lot more than it is right now. How to grow your audience. We can talk about that a little bit. You keep mentioning where you guys are. Follow us at freetalklive.com. Everybody wants followers, so why don't you say something like, send us a tweet and we'll follow you back or something like that. That way only your listeners are hearing you say that, and you know that you're only going to get listeners as followers. But if you promise to follow them back, you can really increase how many people are following you. And actually, I didn't even check to see how many people are following you. Hold on one second here. Let's see, what do you have? Alright, you've got about 2,000, which is good. It's not bad. But you definitely want to break into the 10K to get some really good social media, growing listeners, things like that. That should be your goal, is about 10,000 followers. Of course, we're not going to say that out loud. That's kind of annoying. That's kind of Twitter etiquette. You never want to say, we're trying to get to 10,000 followers. Anyway, so you're at 2,000. We can definitely grow that up. You see how much you're lacking in following back. This could be both a good thing and a bad thing. It's kind of an exclusive crowd that you're following back, so the people that you are following feel kind of exclusive. But you want to have a better ratio than that. Like if you have 2,000 followers, you should at least be following 1,500 people. I mean, that's kind of the ratio you want to have. You want it to look like you're following back, but you're not following back anybody. Again, these are just little, experience tips that we've kind of picked up along the way as far as what's successful and what looks good to people who are using Twitter. And you do want those followers following people who are into Twitter, who are going to be tweeting and retweeting, and just working on discussing the conversation on Twitter. And anytime you can get a discussion going on Twitter with that hashtag Free Talk Live, it's always great for those of us that do go back and see what's happening as far as that subject is concerned. And that's how Twitter works for your user base. Rather than breaking news, you want your user base to be following Free Talk Live. Also, another way to show how the hashtag is used, there are third-party applications. I'm not sure, again, if you're using one. I'm not really sure what you're doing. But there are third-party applications that a lot of us use to kind of keep track, compartmentalize, and digest everybody that we follow. It can be difficult at times, but it can be difficult using what Twitter gives us as far as their website, but there's other applications out there that we're using and have been using that you may not know about that will help you understand Twitter's more than Twitter.com, and it's kind of showing that there's more to it than what meets the eye, and that's kind of what I want to help you with. Okay, so there's this running joke that you never open TweetDeck or Hootsuite. This is another third-party application to someone who's not on Twitter because it will scare them. So here goes my TweetDeck, just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. I'm going to load that up in a moment here. These again are where the hashtags come into play and the @ symbol at the same time. It'll follow both of them. Okay, so it's just kind of loading up. It does take a minute to load. Alright, so this is like Twitter on crack. Literally, you can tell, how badly it is. And you haven't even seen it all because now I can scroll this way. But you can kind of get an idea. I've got dedicated columns. This is like everybody I follow. They land here, okay? Anytime I am mentioned, it lands here. My direct messages, again, land here. And then I have lists. So I have like tech podcasts I follow, tech people, some of my favorites that are just people who have funny tweets or just always a good tweet. I'll follow them. Now, because I'm a producer for No Agenda Show, I always keep track of what's being said. So I've got, anytime Adam Curry is mentioned, and this is via hashtag or tweet, I'm following that. And you can see that he's mentioned. The Real Dvorak is the co-host of that show. So I follow anything that he posts, but these are also including anybody who posts to Twitter mentioning them. So that's how these two columns work. And then just like your hashtag Free Talk Live, this is my column for hashtag No Agenda, which is their chosen hashtag to use. And again, anytime that is used, only hashtag No Agenda. Only that will I get in here. And these are known producers of content for No Agenda, so I follow those as well. Or just listeners who want to share a story, those also land here too. They know to use the hashtag No Agenda. So Mark, what I'm kind of saying is that I'm hoping that it helps you understand the hashtag if you see how we're using it. I think that might help clarify. If it doesn't, that's okay. I'll be glad to talk with you more about it if you need to. You do know how to contact me. But it wasn't a bad idea. I could at least give you an idea of what I can show you, what you can learn, some things you need to improve, and then, if you want to contact me in the future, please do, and hopefully we can meet up. Thank you so much for your time. Bye.